This article is about a Japanese weapon. For an American anime convention, see Tekko. The tekka, which originated in Okinawa, Japan, falls into the category of a fist-load weapon. By definition, a fist-load weapon increases the mass of the hand so that, given the physical proportionality between the fist's momentum and its mass, it increases the force the bearer can deliver. Some fist-load weapons may also serve, in the same manner, as the guard on a sword, to protect the structure of the bearer's hand. History: the Tekko evolved after 5 stages of development. The first, called the uara, consisted of nothing more than a stick or rod, held in the inside the hand. The chai's kanbo, a stick with a loop of rope, which the user could attach to the hand for control, came second. Third, the Tekko resembled the chai's kanbo, but, rather than a rope, had a sharpened wooden extension of the stick, which fit between the first or second finger. An Okinawan tool to help fishermen weave, or haul in their nets without cutting their hand on coral, or a long hairpin used by Okinawan bushi called a kanzashi, quite possibly served as the inspiration for this design. The Tekko appeared in hardwood form, and as soft molded metal so as to greatly increase the mass of the hand. The fourth stage, or Tekkō, allowed for increased function over its predecessors in that it extended beyond the clenched fist, a distinct advancement in the evolution of fist-loaded weaponry. The design consisted either of a wooden stick carved with a wooden extension with a finger hole, or of a metal rod with a metal finger ring. The bearer held the rod in hand, with the ring around a finger. The Tekkō often included a carved point or a metal spike protruding from the ring. Use of the true Tekko per se started with the horseshoe Tekko. Because weapons were banned in Okinawa, the Okinawans sought to put otherwise agricultural implements to martial use. The use of the horseshoe appears to have originated when bushi in Okinawa used the shoes of their horses as makeshift weapons to defend themselves against surprise attack. They simply put a horseshoe into the hand to punch with. Held as a U with the hand in the middle, the two ends extended outwards. Practitioners also tied 2 horseshoes together directly facing and overlapping each other. This design provided greater hand mass, and defensive guard, but resulted in larger weapons, not easily concealed, and more difficult to learn. The improved horseshoe Tekko featured the 2 horseshoes welded together. However, the popularity of the horseshoe Tekko faded, as attention turned to the smaller, more concealable horse stirrup. The horse stirrup version consists of a semicircle, with 2 ends connected by a bar. Some think of this as solely a fist-loaded weapon, primarily a form of knuckle duster. However, stirrup of Okinawan lineage does not have dividers to separate the fingers. Furthermore, the traditional stirrup Tekko consists of light metal and wood, whereas modern-day manufacturers of the knuckle buster version tend to focus on heavy metals such as brass, although modern models made out of such diverse materials as aluminium, wood, steel, iron, and even plastic do exist. Construction: artisans crafted the traditional stirrup upon which the modern design evolved from either wood or metal and were often made from a piece of flat bar, bent into a horseshoe shape and held together by a bolt, to form a D shape. For weapons application, would-be combatants sometimes enhanced the design by embedding additional bolts into the horseshoe shape, to inflict greater injury. Other styles of Tekko exhibit sharp protrusions at either end and 3 spikes representative of the position of the knuckles. As the most recent incarnation, the stirrup version remains the favorite of the predominance of Kobudo practitioners. Controversy surrounds the stirrup Tekko because many Kobudo practitioners liken them to brass knuckles, the possession of which the jurisdiction of many states prohibit as concealed weapons. Owning, and carrying this brass knuckles, often has legal ramifications. Modern brass knuckles, which required little training, remain the weapon of choice for the untrained user, with large volume manufacture and distribution throughout the world. However, brass knuckles have finger dividers. Stirrup Tekko do not. Although many Kobudo practitioners claim that brass knuckles evolved from the Tekko, brass knuckles more closely resembles the handle of the Western trench knife. One cannot always distinguish between the appearance of the Tekko and that of the knives. Westerners came in contact with Okinawan martial art in the 1940s. The trench knife, and Western brass knuckles, date back to World War I. Another controversy surrounds the desire of some Kobudo practitioners to revive the horseshoe Tekko. Differing schools advocate for the stirrup or horseshoe. Although advocates for the stirrup Tekko emphasize near consensus, the horseshoe Tekko practitioners concern themselves not so much with the forward evolution of the weapons as with the preservation of the original Okinawan cultural jutsus, or art forms. Advocates of the horseshoe version argue that the design best suits the functions as passed down in traditional kata for the weapon. Specific features of the horseshoe Tekko, not found in the stirrup version, allow for new and interesting applications to emerge. In form and function, the horseshoe Tekko more closely resembles a specialized knife such as a double knife, a miniature moon knife, or duck knife. Unlike brass knuckles that rely primarily on bludgeoning, the horseshoe Tekko emphasizes shielding against, and hooking incoming weapons attack, as well as stabbing an opponent or hooking anatomically vital points. Current practitioners of Tekko kata include those in the lineage of Master Taira Shinken, also called Ryukyu Kobudo, which features the kata Meisato no Tekko. Other Tekko kata include Meisato no Tekko, Akamine, Takemuyoshi, Miyazato, Kakazu, Kaneyagawa, and Matayoshi. The kata include heavy use of slashing and stabbing movements. The Tekko of Okinawan Kobudo can be used to grip, squeeze and impale various parts of the anatomy at close quarters. The use of Tekko remains an eclectic weapon used by select martial artists to practice discipline, and to express an ancient form of art. Current experts in the area usually will not teach the discipline unless the prospective student already has displayed appropriate demeanor over the course of many years for the training in other martial arts areas. See also, brass knuckles, Tekko-kaji, Vara, Yuara. References. External links: A maker of wooden Tekkos, Tekko article, image of some Tekkos, Meisato no Tekko kata videos, Spanish, La Pagina de Kobudo.